Vasiliy Lomachenko is one of boxing's biggest stars. While growing his accolades in the ring, he was suddenly called to take up arms in the defense of his country. When war broke out in his homeland in February 2022, Lomachenko knew he had to put his boxing career on hold and join the fight for Ukraine's future. This is the story of how Vasiliy Lomachenko left boxing's championship spotlight and entered into the dark battlefronts of war. In early 2022, the 34-year-old was on top of the boxing world. The Ukrainian southpaw had been renowned for his exceptional hand speed, flawless footwork, and creative punching angles.
The guy who beat him twice.
Juan Manuel Marquez type pace, about 40-45 punches per round.
That bewilder opponents. After dominating the featherweight and junior lightweight divisions, Lomachenko began training for what could have been the biggest fight of his professional career, a unification bout with Australian George Kambosos Jr. to crown the first undisputed lightweight champion since 2004.
The fight of his life.
And look at me now, I got all the jewels. I'm not the king. You got your 4 kings. I'm the emperor because I come to every other country and I take them out one by one.
But Lomachenko's unification bout dreams were abruptly put on hold in February 2022, when Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Missiles and airstrikes rained down as troops and tanks poured across the borders. Like many Ukrainians, Lomachenko fled with his family to safety in Romania as the attacks began. From there, he had the option to travel anywhere in the world and wait out events far from the chaos engulfing his homeland. But after seeing the death and destruction Russia was inflicting on innocent civilians, Lomachenko made the difficult decision to return and join the fight for Ukraine. If you like this kind of content and want to be notified for more Fighter 411,
By unanimous decision. And now, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world!
hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Upon returning to Ukraine, Lomachenko immediately enlisted in the Territorial Defense Forces, joining the Belgorod-Dniester battalion near his hometown. After a life spent perfecting the art of boxing, Lomachenko was now training for an entirely different fight. He learned how to handle assault rifles and grenade launchers, no longer focused on footwork and punch combinations. He now studied battle tactics and combat skills. Lomachenko stood alongside his countrymen to defend Ukrainian soil, leaving behind the fame and fortune of his boxing career. As Russian assaults laid waste to cities and civilians, he manned checkpoints and guarded strategic infrastructure near the front lines. For Lomachenko, protecting his homeland took priority over any championship belt. In mid-2022, Ukraine launched a major counterattack against Russian forces. Lomachenko keenly followed the news from the front lines as Ukrainian troops broke through Russian defense lines and liberated vast swaths of territory occupied by the invaders. As a result, the Russians retreated in disarray, relinquishing their grip on key cities in northeastern Ukraine. After months of grueling combat, the territorial gains by the Ukrainian military represented a potential turning point in the war. With the Russians now in full retreat, Lomachenko knew the time had come to return to boxing. He had dutifully served in Ukraine's territorial forces, but understood his fighting spirit was now needed to inspire his people as the war entered a new phase. Lomachenko decided his return to the boxing ring was evident. After leaving his military service, Lomachenko resumed intense boxing training in preparation for his comeback and began sharpening his boxing skills to championship levels once again. On October 29th, 2022, Lomachenko finally laced up his gloves in competition after the long layoff. Stepping through the ropes in New York, he made his return to the ring against dangerous Jamaican contender Jermaine Ortiz. Early on, ring rust was apparent as Lomachenko started slowly and Ortiz tested him with power shots. But by the mid-rounds, Lomachenko found his trademark rhythm and began unleashing his full arsenal of punches. Loma was in complete control by the championship rounds.
That's something that Loma has to contend with.
Yeah, but can he sustain it? That's the question.
Left hand.
He outclassed his opponent, showing flashes of the brilliance that once made him boxing's top pound-for-pound fighter. After 12 hard-fought rounds, he earned a unanimous decision victory in his first bout since the war began. By defeating a top contender in his return, Lomachenko proved he remains a force in the talent-rich lightweight division. His goal now is to reclaim the world titles he vacated when duty called. More importantly, his return to championship form will continue to inspire and uplift the people of Ukraine in their ongoing struggle. Now back pursuing his championship dreams, Lomachenko continues to uplift and motivate his fellow Ukrainians as the war rages on. His return to boxing sends a powerful message that the country that produced so many champion boxers remains resilient even in the darkest of times. Whatever the future holds, Vasiliy Lomachenko has already secured his place as a true people's champion, both in the ring and on the battlefield. He surely will be remembered as the champion who fought for his country, and that's the 411.